Thanks for coming in on the weekend. It's been crazy around here.
Yeah, no problem. I know how it goes with startups.
Right? Well, at least our first round of funding was quite successful, so we can keep growing and expanding and seeking out new talent like yourself. My office is right over here.
Okay.
Water?
Thanks.
Have a seat.
So I gotta say I was surprised when you reached out. I haven't really heard anything about your company.
Sure. Well, let me give you a little background about us. My partners and I started Relic because we discovered a hole in the crowdsourcing market, and we figured out a way to fill that niche in a meaningful yet very profitable way. And at the same time, we have a chance to make a real difference in the world. I mean, think about it. Philanthropy hasn't changed a whole lot in the last 100 years, right? Why do you think that is?
Well, I'd say it's because it hasn't really caught up to how people behave today.
Exactly. Human behavior. That's the key. You could have all the money in the world, but if you can't change behaviors, you get nowhere. That's what we're all about here at Relic. Changing behaviors for the better. But enough about us. Let's talk about you. So you spent the last 6 years at Overstock. Tell me a little bit about what you did there.
I was assistant manager of analytics. I processed data for our clients, generating real-time, user-friendly analytics of web traffic, impressions, click-throughs.
Awesome. We need somebody like that. I'm glad you're here today. Computer science at Northwestern. You're from Chicago?
No, actually, I originally grew up in upstate New York.
Great. Nice area. A little cold for my taste.
Yeah, you get used to it though.
Me, I never went to college.
Oh,
Sold my first company for 22 mil when I was 16. So you started at Syracuse though, right?
Does it say that on?
Thomas, relax. Your resume's perfect. I just like to be thorough in my research. I mean, what kind of employer would I be if I didn't really know who I was hiring, right? So Syracuse.
Yeah. Well, I left there after sophomore year. I just didn't feel like I fit in there socially. It wasn't the right environment.
Sure. Finding the right environment is so important. Noisy out there.
So I appreciate the interest, but I have to say I still don't really understand what it is you even do here.
Well, are you familiar with the concept of hyperlocal targeting?
Of course.
Well, consider this the next level. Ultra-targeted, micro-local, frictionless solutions.
Right.
So tell me about Catherine.
Catherine?
Catherine Barnum, your girlfriend at Syracuse.
What about her?
Well, she's a Fulbright scholar, right?
Yeah.
And you guys are engaged.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't see what this has to do with anything.
I'm just trying to get a better idea of why you left Syracuse. I'm sure she had some part to play in that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely part of it. But then I got to Northwestern, got my bearings, found computers.
Right.
So
right.
I'd like to know more about the position here. What exactly are you looking for?
That's a great question. And we're about to get to that. But first, do you know who recommended you to us?
No.
Jessica. Catherine's sister.
Wait, why would she?
The internet's an amazing thing, isn't it, Thomas? There's so much data. Nothing's ever really forgotten anymore. That's the crux of our business here at Relic. If we're gonna change human behavior, we have to understand the story of that behavior. Stories, they're complex. There are many components, many angles, many perspectives. But somewhere inside all of that mess, you can find the truth. If you can put those pieces together, that's real power. That's how you affect real change. That's what can bring together a ferryboat captain outside Syracuse, a backdoor pharmacist in Toronto, and a retired coroner, with a girl like Jessica, who was just looking for some answers. Put those pieces together and it tells a complete story. The story of a young man secretly hooked on smuggled painkillers, suddenly overcome by jealousy, whose entire supply of Dilaudid was found in his girlfriend's bloodstream when the police pronounced her death a suicide.
You don't know shit! I'm out of here.
Thomas! This interview isn't over.
What interview? This isn't about a job.
It is for me.